Alright, I'm just coming into a place where I've had trail cameras now. It's the middle of March, and I put them here, I think, maybe the middle of January. And so they've been sitting for a couple months. It's at a place I've never run trail cameras before. I want to show you, whenever I was coming in here, I actually jumped a couple deer from the vicinity here of my camera. They both look like does, unless, you know, it could have been a shed buck. But there's the camera. This is one of 3 that I put in here back in, we had just had a snow there in January. But I'll show you, whenever I was coming in here, I actually jumped a couple deer. I'll show you some of the footage from that. Well, I just came around that little blind turn there in the field. You can't quite see, but this is where the deer had run from. It was 3 does and 1 buck. And lo and behold, I find all 4 of their beds right here in a row. And they took off that way, and there's a lot of escape cover up in there. It's as thick as it can be. This is the first of 3. I'm just going to go ahead and pull these cameras today and see what we got. I know there was a really big buck working this. Actually, 2 good deer working this property this past year. So I'm hoping that maybe I got some video of them before they lost their antlers. Alright, I'm at the second camera here on the field edge. Paths that come in out of the field. The first camera had 98 video bites on it. I surfed through just a little bit, and I could see where it did get at least 1 buck that was still holding antlers. I mean, it wasn't super impressive, but it was kind of cool to see that, you know, that they were coming through there a little bit. Not quite sure what else is on there, but let's see what this one has. Alright, the second camera had 1,583 videos on it. Still had half its battery and still had card space, so it didn't just stop working. It actually got me coming in here. I surfed through the first few hundred and saw where it did have multiple bucks on there, so I'm pretty excited about that. But most of it looks like is probably wind activation or cattle working the edge of the property there, because it shines right into the edge of the field, and cattle was coming through quite a bit. But it could have some really good stuff on it. A lot for me to go through. On to the third one. Alright, this is the third cam, kind of down here in this creek bottom. A little opening down here, like a pinch point. And get this thing off the tree and see how many we got on it. Well, I'm climbing up out of here. I'm almost up to the trail, and I just want to say that last camera, the third camera, did better than I thought it would. It had 487 video bytes on it. I don't believe there was any false triggers, and it looks like it got a big buck on there, so I'm really happy with that. But there's all kinds of footage to watch. You know, see what was happening. It got a gang of turkeys in there, and looked like it got some other deer that were frolicking around. I'm not sure if they were does fighting or a buck trying to mount a doe real late or what it was, but it's got some interesting stuff on it, I'm sure, and I'm gonna look through it and I'll let you guys see the best stuff that was on there.